Right now, look around the room you're in. Just look. What do you see? Colors, objects, light, shadows. Now close your eyes and tell me what color your nose is. Strange question, isn't it? You see your nose every single moment of every single day, but you probably never noticed its color. Your brain decided it wasn't important, so it became invisible. This is coffee English, and what I just showed you is the exact same mechanism that's either making your English amazing or keeping you trapped forever. Your brain is like a spotlight in a dark theater. Whatever it shines on becomes your entire reality. Everything else disappears into darkness. Today, we're diving deep into the most powerful force that controls your English learning journey. This isn't about grammar rules or new vocabulary. This is about the invisible director in your mind that decides what you see, what you learn, and who you become. By the end of this episode, you'll understand why some people seem to absorb English effortlessly, while others struggle for years with the same problems. But here's what makes this truly special. This principle doesn't just change your English, it transforms everything. Your relationships, your career, your entire life experience. Once you see how this works, you can't unsee it. And once you master it, nothing will ever be the same. I want you to share your own attention breakthrough moment in the comments. Maybe it was the moment you realized you were focusing on the wrong thing, or when you discovered how changing your focus changed everything. Your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. Picture this scene. Two friends walk into the same restaurant on the same evening. They sit at the same table, eat the same meal, talk to the same waiter. But when they leave, they have completely different experiences. Emma spent the evening noticing how friendly the waiter was, how beautiful the decorations looked, and how delicious her food tasted. She felt happy and satisfied. Meanwhile, Tom focused on how long they waited for their order, how noisy the other customers were, and how expensive everything seemed. He left feeling frustrated and disappointed. Same restaurant, same evening, same reality, but two completely different experiences. What made the difference? Their attention. Their focus created their reality. This is exactly what happens with English learning. Two students can have the same teacher, use the same books, spend the same amount of time studying. But one student notices every new word they understand, celebrates every successful conversation, and feels excited about their progress. The other student focuses on every mistake they make, every word they don't know, and every time they feel confused. The first student becomes fluent. The second student stays stuck, not because of their ability, but because of their attention. Now let me share with you one of the most important discoveries in the history of psychology. Over 100 years ago, a brilliant Russian scientist named Alexei Ukhtomsky found something that changed everything we know about how the human mind works. He discovered that our brain works on a simple but powerful rule. At any moment, one thought or emotion becomes the leader of your entire mental system. This leading thought acts like a powerful magnet. It pulls your attention toward everything that matches it and pushes away everything that doesn't match. Think of your mind as a radio. When you tune into a specific station, that station becomes crystal clear while all others fade into background noise. Your dominant thought is like that radio station. It decides what you hear, what you notice, and what becomes real for you. But here's where it gets really interesting. Once this leading thought takes control, It starts something that scientists call confirmation bias. Your brain becomes like a detective, but not a fair one. It only looks for proof that your leading thought is right. Any proof that disagrees with it gets ignored, forgotten, or changed to fit the story. Let me show you how powerful this is with a simple example from everyday life. Have you ever decided to buy a specific car, and then suddenly you see that exact car everywhere? On every street, in every parking lot, in every advertisement. It feels like the whole world just bought the same car as you. But here's the truth. Those cars were always there. Your brain just never noticed them before because they weren't important to you. But the moment you decided to buy one, your attention light turned toward them. Now they're everywhere because you're finally seeing what was always there. The same thing happens when a woman becomes pregnant. Suddenly, she sees pregnant women everywhere, baby stores on every corner, and parenting articles in every magazine. The world didn't change. Her attention did. This is the secret that most English learners never discover. Your brain is constantly creating your English learning experience based on where you direct your attention spotlight. Here's where most English learners get trapped. From the very beginning, the educational system teaches us to focus on what's wrong. Red pens mark our mistakes. Teachers point out our errors. Tests measure what we don't know. So naturally, when we study English, our attention spotlight automatically turns toward problems. We notice every grammar mistake we make. We hear every pronunciation error. We feel embarrassed about our accent. We worry about the words we don't understand. This creates what I call the negative attention trap. Your brain becomes a mistake-hunting machine. It scans every conversation looking for your errors. It listens to your speaking, searching for problems. It reads your writing, hunting for failures. And here's the cruel part. The more you focus on your mistakes, the more mistakes your brain finds. Not because you're making more mistakes, but because you're finally noticing all the small ones you used to ignore. Your confidence crashes. Your motivation disappears. You start believing you're not good at English. But remember, your brain is just doing its job. You trained it to look for problems, so it found problems. You focused on what's wrong, so wrong became your reality. This happens in every area of life. If you focus on what's annoying about your job, you'll find more things to be annoyed about. If you focus on what's frustrating in your relationship, you'll discover more frustrations. If you focus on what's difficult about exercise becomes harder. Your attention doesn't just observe your reality, it creates your reality. Now comes the beautiful part. The same mechanism that traps you can also free you. The same attention spotlight that finds problems can find progress. The same brain that hunts for mistakes can hunt for victories. But this requires a conscious decision. You have to deliberately flip the switch of your attention. Instead of asking, "What did I do wrong?" you start asking, "What did I do right?" Instead of looking for words you don't know, you celebrate words you do know. Instead of focusing on your accent, you focus on how clearly you communicated your message. Let me give you a powerful example from real life. Two people start learning to play piano at the same time. Person A focuses on every wrong note they hit, every rhythm they miss, every piece they can't play perfectly. Person B focuses on every song they can play better than last week, every technique they've improved, every moment the music sounds beautiful. After 6 months, who do you think plays better? Who enjoys music more? Who continues practicing? Person B, of course. not because they're more talented, but because they train their brain to notice progress instead of problems. The same principle works with everything. In fitness, you can focus on how tired you feel or how strong you're becoming. In cooking, you can focus on the dishes that don't turn out perfect or the ones that taste amazing. In friendships, you can focus on what annoys you about people or what you appreciate about them. Your focus becomes your experience. Your attention creates your world. So how do you apply this to English learning? You become what I call a progress hunter instead of a mistake hunter. You train your attention spotlight to find evidence of your improvement instead of evidence of your problems. When you have a conversation in English, instead of thinking, "I made so many grammar mistakes," you think, "I successfully communicated my ideas and the other person understood me perfectly." Instead of worrying about your accent, you celebrate that you expressed exactly what you wanted to say. When you read an English article, instead of focusing on the words you don't know, you notice how many words you do understand. Instead of feeling frustrated about difficult sentences, you feel proud that you can read an entire article in a foreign language. When you watch an English movie, instead of getting upset about parts you don't catch, you celebrate every joke you understand, every emotion you feel, every scene that makes sense without subtitles. This isn't about being unrealistic or ignoring areas for improvement. This is about training your brain to see the full picture instead of only the negative parts. When you focus on progress, you naturally want to create more progress. When you focus on success, you naturally want to create more success. Your brain becomes your ally instead of your enemy. Your attention spotlight starts illuminating opportunities instead of obstacles. Your English learning transforms from a struggle into an adventure. But here's what makes this principle truly magical. Once you master the art of attention direction, it changes everything beyond English. You start applying it to every area of your life. In your career, you stop focusing on what you lack and start noticing the skills you're developing. In your relationships, you stop seeing what's wrong with people and start appreciating what's special about them. In your health, you stop obsessing about problems and start celebrating every positive change. You realize that happiness isn't about having perfect circumstances. It's about directing your attention toward what's already good in your life. Success isn't about avoiding all problems. It's about focusing on solutions and opportunities. This is the secret that happy people know and unhappy people don't. This is the difference between those who achieve their dreams and those who stay stuck. It's not about their circumstances. It's about their attention. Every episode of Coffee English ends with a powerful phrase you can use immediately. Today's phrase comes directly from this principle, and it has the power to transform not just your English, but your entire life experience. Here it is: what I focus on grows stronger. Let me repeat this phrase together with you. What I focus on grows stronger. This phrase is both a reminder and a choice. When you catch your mind dwelling on problems, mistakes, or difficulties, you can say this phrase and consciously shift your attention to something positive. When you feel stuck or frustrated, you can use this phrase to redirect your mental spotlight toward progress and possibilities. What I focus on grows stronger. Focus on your mistakes, and your mistakes grow stronger. Focus on your progress, and your progress grows stronger. Focus on problems, and problems grow stronger. Focus on solutions, and solutions grow stronger. This phrase puts you back in control of your learning experience and your life experience. It reminds you that you have the power to choose what becomes dominant in your mind. Your learning doesn't end when this episode ends. It begins now. I'm giving you a simple but powerful challenge that will prove to you how real this principle is. For the next 7 days, become a progress hunter in your English learning. Every time you use English, speak English, read English, or listen to English, deliberately focus on what went well instead of what went wrong. Notice words you understood that you might not have understood a month ago. Celebrate sentences you constructed successfully. Appreciate moments when you communicated effectively. Pay attention to your growing confidence and comfort with the language. Keep a simple note in your phone. Each day, write down one thing you did well in English that day. Just one thing. It could be as simple as understanding a song lyric, successfully ordering food, or having a smooth conversation with a colleague. At the end of 7 days, read through your notes. You'll be amazed at how much progress you've been making that your brain was hiding from you. You'll feel more motivated, more confident, and more excited about continuing your English journey. But more importantly, you'll have proof that your attention creates your reality. You'll have experienced the power of focusing on what's growing instead of what's lacking. We've reached the end of today's episode, but really, this is just the beginning of a completely new way of seeing English learning and life itself. You now understand one of the most powerful forces in human psychology. You know that your attention is not just a passive observer of reality. It's the active creator of your experience. Remember, every moment of every day, your brain is making thousands of choices about what to notice and what to ignore. Most people let this happen automatically, which means they get random results. But now you know better. Now you can take conscious control of your attention spotlight. Your English learning journey is about to become more enjoyable, more motivating, and more successful. Not because you'll suddenly make fewer mistakes, but because you'll start seeing the incredible progress you're already making. What you focus on grows stronger. Let that be your guide in English and in life. Thank you for spending this time with Coffee English. Remember to share your attention breakthrough stories in the comments. Your experience might be exactly what someone else needs to hear to change their entire learning journey. Until next time, keep your attention focused on growth, progress, and possibility. Your future fluent self is cheering you on.